Good morning and welcome to the 2014-15 President's Convocation. I'm Shane Freilich, the Faculty Senate President, and before we get started, I would just like you to look at the person to your left and then look at the person to your right and realize how fabulous you all are, and give the person to your left and right a round of applause. It's the start of another new year, and we are by far the most impressive university. The faculty, the staff, the campus leadership, the campus police, the people who operate the VPAC, we are an unbelievable group, and you deserve that round of applause. Before I introduce President Harrison, I'd like to introduce another president. We have presidents all over the place on this campus. I think back there is the president of the Harry Hellenbrand fan club, Charlie Reed. How you doing? It is my honor and privilege to introduce Tiffany Zeitch, the new AS president. She would like to come up and say a few words about President Harrison. So, Tiffany, if you will, please.
Thank you, Shane. Hello, everyone. I want to say thank you for the honor of asking me to be a part of your convocation today as president of the Associated Students and the student body here at Northridge. As we all transition into the start of the semester, I am excited for all that is to come and looking forward to a successful year. California State University Northridge is a university composed of amazing students, administration, faculty, and staff. I know my fellow CSUN students, all 38,000 of us, or even more this year, are all looking forward to being on campus, learning from one another, as well as from all of you. We all share a commitment to achieving our goals for quality higher education and receiving the knowledge we need for our next steps in life. So let me thank you in advance for a memorable year. Students are aware that without the hard work and dedication of our campus administration, faculty, and staff, CSUN would not be where it is today. Thanks to our faculty, students have the ability to create meaningful and successful connections with the professional world that enhances our quality education we receive inside the classroom. Opportunities, we excel in our careers and help stimulate the economy in our local communities. Some of you may not be aware that President Harrison meets regularly with the AS Vice President and myself so we can discuss our goals and share our plans to continuously enhance this campus. We are appreciative of the access to key administrators throughout the year as we work on implementing projects that help increase and as we depend on one another for this completion. The AS Vice President, our student leadership, and I have been excited to hear about President Harrison's plans to increase entrepreneurship on campus, expand on sustainability initiatives, and provide opportunities for students to work with their faculty on new research ventures and ways to leverage those for student success. Lastly, student success cannot be accomplished without the help of many staff members on campus who work behind the scenes to help enhance our college experience. From grounds to financial aids to food services, we know there are multiple people who are invested in our education and transform CSUN into a great environment to grow in. On behalf of myself and the student body here at California State University Northridge, it is an honor to
All right, this campus has accomplished many absolutely phenomenal things over the course of the past year, and President Harrison will talk about some of those accomplishments. And of course, we have many more amazing things to do this year. So without any further ado, it is my privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Dianne Harrison, President of California State University Northridge.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you, Tiffany, for your remarks. I have been very impressed with the quality of our leadership among our students, and Tiffany is no exception. So I look forward to working with both of you this year. So joining us this morning In the front couple of rows are our cabinet members and members of the President's extended cabinet, and I want to introduce them. And if you are inclined to applause, please hold your applause so we can give our love equally to all of our extended cabinet members. Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Harry Hillenbrand. Vice President for Student Affairs, William Watkins. You all can stand up when your name is called. Vice President for Administration and Finance, Colin Donahue. Vice President for Information Technology and CIO, Hillary Baker. Vice President for University Advancement, Rob Gonzalez. Executive Director of the University Corporation, Rick Evans. Chief of Staff, Jill Smith. Dean Sylvia Alva, College of Health and Human Development. Dean Joyce Voigt Javier, Zane College of Extended Learning. Our newest dean, Dean Jay Kavapel, Mike Kerb, College of Arts, Media and Communication. Dean Kenneth Lord, the David Nazarian College of Business and Economics. Associate Dean Robert Ryan, sitting in for Dean S.K. Ramesh of the College of Engineering and Computer Science. Dean Elizabeth Say, College of Humanities. Dean Michael Spagna, the Michael D. Eisner College of Education. Dean Jerry Stenner, College of Science and Mathematics. Dean Mark Stover, the Stephen Stepanek. And we also have with us this morning our student trustee and vice president of AS, Talar Alexanian. So now let's show our appreciation. Thank you. I was hoping that the audience would be a little bit larger than the extended cabinet. So thank you. The program also lists 41 new tenure-track faculty members, many of whom are here today as participants in the new faculty orientation, and approximately 230 new permanent full-time staff members who have joined CSUN or its auxiliaries in the past year, or who have taken on new roles. We also congratulate in the program 84 tenure-track faculty members who were tenured or promoted in the past year. Will everyone who is in one of those groups please stand and receive our welcome and congratulations. I'm also pleased to welcome some special guests who have joined us this morning. Seated to my right in the front are faculty who were honored in May at the Honored Faculty Reception, and staff who received Presidential and Merit Awards at the June's Staff Service Award ceremony. You'll find their names listed in the program. Will those guests please stand and be recognized? So, let me begin with a little bit of an apology. They say that the third time is the charm, and this is my third convocation, but I have found it virtually impossible, given a university of our size and our complexity, to condense a year's worth of achievements, our goals, and our aspirations in less than 45 minutes or so. I have worked for that, so please allow me the next, I hope, less than an hour of your time. When I was getting out of my car, coming here after I parked, I walked around and stepped up on the curb and I tripped. I did. I caught myself, thankfully, but I did trip. And if you ever start to fall and you catch yourself, it kind of hurts. So I thought, well, there's a good start till today. I figured the fact that I didn't fall on my face is a good sign. So, Happy New Year. Welcome to the 2014-2015 academic year. I think this new year is filled with great promise, and I know this because we already have such a track record of success. And every year, we achieve more, and our students achieve more. And every step forward and every new recognition allows us to celebrate together as we and our students rise to higher levels of excellence and achievement. I think the momentum that we collectively generate is powerful, and our students carry that momentum with them into the world to even greater heights. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation that was on the screen here before we started speaking that showed only some of our highlights and accomplishments this year. There have been many outstanding milestones that we can be proud of and that we are proud of. And I am aware of countless more achievements, as you probably are too. And I take great pride in those. I appreciate the hard work and the efforts that have helped advance our university's mission and our priorities. And I trust that you recognize and appreciate each other's achievements and milestones. I do believe that when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. I'm excited to highlight these achievements through visual media, which allow us to share more of your good work for the recognition you deserve. But in fact, we would be here probably all day if I read through each and every one of them. But I do want to take a couple of minutes to show you just a few more milestones. I can't resist. So, Richard?
Nearly 10,000 CSUN students earned their degrees more than ever before. Alumnus David Nazarian donated $10 million to the College of Business and Economics as a part of a $25 million campaign.
One team, one goal, one Matador.
In June, we launched the Rise of the Matadors Pride campaign, which showcases a strengthened identity, the new brand, and upward trajectory of our CSUN Athletics Department. We honored former CSUN President Glenda Wilson for her leadership, lifelong achievements, and pioneering spirit. We recognized and appreciated our staff and faculty through both the summer and holiday events. Money Magazine named CSUN one of the top Value All-Stars for adding the most value to students' educations in the yearly rankings for colleges and universities. Our partnership with the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator will be a beacon of entrepreneurship for the San Fernando Valley. The Hollywood Reporter ranked CSUN's film program 22nd in the nation. We broke ground on the second phase of the Suites at the University Park, the first student housing in the CSU system constructed exclusively for first-time freshmen. Governors Michael Dukakis and alumna Linda Lingle shared their perspectives on public service and policymaking in a special on-campus event. Governor Lingle also taught a political science course during the spring semester. The women's basketball team won the Big West regular season and conference championships on the way to its first NCAA tournament bid since 1999. Senior Alan Campos was voted the Young Entrepreneur of the Year by the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and he even started a scholarship to help future students achieve their dreams like he has. The University Student Union was one of 3 schools featured on the PBS documentary Visionaries for its work as a nonprofit organization making a difference in the community and for our students. CSUN was well represented at the International Intelligent Ground Vehicle Competition in Michigan earlier this year, when our team of engineering students built the Vader mobile robot and placed second nationally. Nearly 140 CSUN faculty and staff researchers were honored earlier this year for their efforts in helping raise millions of dollars for research conducted here on campus.
So, as you can see, on many fronts, the impact that we're making in the lives of our students, the impact we make as individual contributors, and also collectively through the as a campus, through the power of collaboration and teamwork. Our visibility, our reputation are reaching new heights. When I came to Northridge, I talked about a second floor. We're building the next level of excellence with the campus community, building on the great foundation that I was fortunate enough to inherit. And as you have seen this morning, the signs of construction and excitement are literally everywhere. People in this region, people in this nation, and yes, even around the globe, are recognizing CSUN. They're coming to know more and more about us and all of your efforts. And these accomplishments are not isolated either. We know that it takes, as a campus, a village, literally, to make it all happen. From those who maintain our air conditioning in our hot valley summers, and I would add our hot valley falls, to those upgrading our networks, to faculty who teach, engage in research and creative activity and service, to the advisors who help students plan their course schedules so they can graduate on time. All of you make an essential difference to the success of CSUN. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the achievements, some more of your achievements, but I'm really going to talk more about the year ahead of us and our goals for the coming year. And I do this in the context of our 7 university priorities. And in case you need a reminder, those priorities are also listed in your program. We won't have a test later, but you really should be familiar with what the university priorities are and what role you can play in helping us achieve our goals. I said earlier we were constructing our second level, and like any good construction project, this new level will depend on a strong foundation and the focus that our priorities provide. Our priorities and our goals will guide our path and will help us demonstrate our accountability and our progress. They provide structure to our decision-making and help us envision the possibilities. Some of the goals that I'll talk about build on our already achieved successes, and others, quite frankly, are deliberate interventions on issues that require more urgent attention. I have great confidence, though, in all of our abilities to move forward. I have not seen a challenge that we cannot overcome together, and not just academic affairs, not just administration and finance, or student affairs, or IT, or university advancement, or the university corporation. Not any single division or department. To rise to the levels we want to achieve, we need to work together across disciplines. Before I continue, however, I want to acknowledge a very sad and tragic event that occurred earlier this summer when one of our students, Armando Villa, passed away while on a fraternity-sponsored hike in the Angeles National Forest. Since this matter is still being investigated by both the university and law enforcement, the sheriff's office, in the absence of a final report, it would be premature for me to offer any speculation or judgment. However, this tragedy is a sober reminder of our collective responsibility as a community in ensuring the well-being and the safety of our students. I know all of you share in the deep and heartfelt condolences that have been extended to his family. I assure you, Armando will be remembered and his life will have a meaningful impact at this university. I would like to ask you now for a moment of silence in Armando Villa's honor. Thank you. I want to now focus on our priorities, and I want to start with student success. It's only appropriate because all of our other priorities are in fact components. Student success is our unrelenting focus and our top priority. Every conversation I have on campus affirms that you share this as our #1 priority. This fall, we expect to have close to 40,000 students, headcount, on campus. This includes 5,500 first-time freshmen, around 5,800 new transfer students, and close to 1,500 new post-bac students. And given the large number of students that we've admitted in the last couple of years, we expect to have larger numbers of continuing students than last fall. We are, over-enrolled relative to our enrollment target as dictated by the Chancellor's office. And because the state funding is still allocating funds to the system based on enrollment numbers, I see no likelihood of the CSU moving toward huge enrollment growth in the future. Most of us were attracted to the CSU because of the mission related to access and providing the opportunity for high-quality education that was also affordable. Many of our sister CSU campuses have already moved toward what's called full campus impaction, AKA denying admission, in order to manage the excess demand. And that keeps them in their designated targets. Unfortunately, in the budget realities that we're now looking at, in the coming months, we're going to be taking a serious look at the need for Northridge to also declare full impaction. I personally find that possibility and prospect to be contrary to our mission of access, and it is not something that most of us would prefer. But we may have no choice. There will be lots of discussion and lots of consultation before that decision is made, and in fact, it's a 2-year process to even get that approved, so stay tuned. But regardless of those numbers, we know that our students are in a rapidly changing world. As an example, the Association of American Colleges and Universities, or AAC&U, which has taken an active role in investigating what characteristics employers look for in college graduates, they found remarkable agreement among employers about the learning outcomes that college graduates need. You know what they are. They include skills and competencies in critical thinking, problem solving, ethical decision-making, and intercultural communication. In fact, more than 90% of employers have said that these skills and competencies are more important than the student's major. But students need to stay in school and graduate to succeed in today's world. Our goal should be to help our students persist and complete their degrees, obtain skills valued by employers, and hopefully develop habits of social responsibility and civic participation. This is a challenge that we must face head-on with urgency. Our one-year continuation rates for new students are a crucial metric in evaluating institutional progress in support of student persistence and graduation. And the most current data available indicate a continuation rate of 78% for CSUN first-time freshmen who started in 12-13. The overall CSU continuation rate for that same cohort of students was 85%. So clearly we have work to do. We all play a part in helping our students continue from one year to the next. Obviously, an important part of making it to graduation. Whether you're in the classroom teaching, whether you're advising, whether you're in financial aid, in a department office, in the student rec center, helping keep our grounds beautiful, everywhere. Sometimes students ask for help. Sometimes they don't. In many cases, especially for our first-time freshmen, they're still young, they're still learning, and they're learning a whole lot more than just about our curriculum. They're having to learn how to navigate our process, having to learn how to navigate our bureaucracy. I urge you to please help, please empathize with our students' situations and their life experiences that they bring. Sometimes they have very little self-confidence in their academic abilities, and you can make the difference. We will also be focusing attention on traditionally underserved and academically at-risk students. You have actually, made great progress through remediation. But we are losing some of our students even after they have successfully completed remediation. So we're going to be looking at the whys of that phenomenon. Again, we can support them as a campus community, but we must be deliberate and intentional in our interactions and interventions. We must also work to progress students to graduation. Our 6-year graduation rate has fallen slightly to 45% from a very hard-earned 48%. I'm sure you agree that we need to go much higher. We will be studying this very carefully in the months to come to identify the high-impact practices that can be scaled up. We know some of them obviously already. For instance, we know that students who take English and math prerequisites in the first 2 years are succeeding at higher rates than those who do not. Why do we not require this of all students? And what else can we do? We know that culminating experiences or capstones are an excellent strategy for instilling important skills and assessing student learning, yet not all students have that experience. We also know that undergraduates who are involved in research, community service, and/or internships graduate at higher rates. But again, not all of our students have these opportunities. We need to figure out how we can expand these opportunities for more of our students. We've set a formal goal with the Chancellor's Office to raise our graduation rates 2.5% for each of the next 2 years. So that's 5% in 2 years. And beyond graduation, we need to grow our alumni as leaders by providing our graduates with skills as needed in today's world to keep up and remain competitive. AAC&U'S LEAP 2.0 challenge asks every college student during the course of their studies should work on a project or a topic that is significant both to the student and to the wider society, whether it be the workplace, society, or the broader global community. The goal is to connect their learning and their intellectual progress to a problem-centered application that requires inquiry, analysis, evidence-based reasoning, engagement with diverse perspectives, and reflection on the results. The challenges of today's world and the problems facing students when they graduate make this a very relevant exercise that I think we should consider for all of our students. This new effort from AAC&U also aligns with another new report called Students of the Future from the American Council on Education that urges institutions of higher education to develop strategies now to meet the changing needs of our students. And our students' needs will be shifting every year over the next decade. They will shift because of changing demographics. They will shift because of changes in technology. And they will shift in changes in our students' learning styles. Our graduates must also acquire cultural competency, prepared for an increasingly diverse world. They should be innovators. I would ask the faculty to consider, what would it take for your students, the students in your major, to become leaders and innovators in their field or discipline? What are we doing by way of cutting edge and cross-discipline thinking and approaches? How often do you review your curriculum for relevancy and currency and anticipating future needs? Entrepreneurship, it really is not a dirty word. It's about competing in a global economy. And as I heard from a provost at a sister CSU remark, we probably don't need more best practices. We know what they are. What we need are more practitioners of the best practices. We need to scale up what we know works for our students. I would encourage us to individualize learning, to start where our students are, whether they need the extra help to catch up or the encouragement to excel even beyond their own aspirations. We should evaluate not only our academic practices, but also our business practices that make it easier for our students to navigate our system. And toward that end, I'm pleased to note that the CSUN Mobile App has just received a significant upgrade that allows students to pay their tuition and other campus fees on their phones. And this complements the existing ability to enroll in classes, to get on a wait list, all of that functionality that is already being used and appreciated by our students. I thought it was interesting. I heard this summer at a meeting I attended, there was a vice president for marketing of Cisco who told us that their research indicated that among freshman university students, they would rather give up their driving privileges than their cell phones. So it's good that we're moving toward more mobile applications. I'm also very pleased to announce that CSUN has established the Northridge Dreamers Scholarship that will be available for our undocumented students, an emerging and important segment of our student population who otherwise have either no type of tuition support or little funding available to them. This program complements our other scholarships on campus, and my thanks to William Watkins and Lily Vidal of Financial Aid for their implementation and setting all of this up. And these will be awarded for the first time this semester. I want to talk about employee success. This priority recognizes that the excellence and the success of the university and its efforts on behalf of our students are only made possible because of the individual and collective contributions of faculty and staff. We are all part of a learning community, and this priority celebrates and acknowledges and hopefully nurtures employee success and growth. My goal is to make CSUN a destination workplace where the contributions of faculty and staff are acknowledged and valued, and all of our employees are engaged and committed to university goals and priorities. In this past year, we celebrated our employees in a couple of ways. As you saw on the screen, we had our first ever campus holiday party. We had a summer picnic for employees, at which close to 1,000 attendees came. It was great fun. I've enjoyed the opportunity to meet with small groups of you, either at lunches or at breakfasts, and I look forward to meeting more of you in the coming year. We continued to help make CSUN Shine Bright program, which is the online opportunity for all of our students and employees to give feedback and new ideas on various topics. This last year, topics covered whether CSUN should be a smoke-free campus and also sustainability. A summary of the sustainability findings and feedback have been posted, and I'll discuss more about sustainability shortly. The results of the smoking topic was reviewed by a university task force on becoming a smoke-free campus, chaired by Linda Chasioskas, sorry Linda, and Dianne Schwartz. The campus feedback was very useful to the task force in reviewing possible actions, but we're at a very challenging juncture. You want to be a smoke-free campus and a cell-free campus during presentations. But some of you don't want our small smoking community to be burdened by the actions necessary to accomplish this. We're going to be discussing this more in the coming months, but the CSU system, as a system, is going to take a stance, and it's likely to be smoke-free for all campuses. And I'd like to personally get ahead of that. I would like for us to become smoke-free by fall of 2015. Gives us a year to prepare. But overall, the program, the Shine Bright program, and the opportunity to give feedback has been tremendous, and I appreciate everybody's online contributions. We will continue that dialogue. Some of the questions may get a little more challenging. The university has also expanded its professional development programs, which are important to connecting the dots with university priorities and encouraging greater cross-divisional understanding and collaboration on campus initiatives. One such program that will help fulfill this goal is called CSUN Shine From Within program, which I announced at the Staff Service Awards in June. And this program is going to launch in the fall with its first cohort. It was developed by our real program participants, which was a team made up from MPP and faculty members, and the new program is really a staff counterpart to that program. So it's a great opportunity for our staff and participants to learn more about the university, to build connections and expand their network across campus. Now, we still have some challenges. While CSUN enrolls an incredibly diverse student population, we are officially an HSI. We're also officially an Asian American Pacific Islander designated institution. Our faculty, and to a lesser extent our staff, do not reflect our student diversity. In each and every one of the all-college meetings and in any other meetings that I attend and am asked to speak or make comment, I will challenge and continue to challenge the campus groups to increase the diversity in our hiring. I have similarly challenged the vice presidents in their hiring practices to ensure that they are looking at the most diverse pool of applicants possible. And toward this end, we will engage in a comprehensive study of diversity hiring practices over the last decade to identify opportunities and challenges to campus climate and to develop baseline diversity and inclusion competency across the university to enhance faculty and staff diversity. The topics of civility and bullying have been raised on campus this past year, and the need for some type of policy and expectation that affects all units and all employees. And some of you have already stepped forward in this, to lead in this effort. I hope that you would agree that this should not be negotiable. To foster student success, to create a destination workplace, we have to have an environment where all faculty and staff are supportive of intellectual exchange and differing perspectives to advance the university within a framework of civility and respect. Respect for all individuals, regardless of their position or their title. I want to thank Shane and the Faculty Senate for your leadership. I know you've already started some conversation on that topic. We'll also think about working towards a general civility policy on campus, and I want to thank you for your support of that in advance. The world that is around us can be difficult, I know that, and sometimes we bring that to work. But I think we need to agree to work on our discourse and our civility, and remember that in every moment, our actions impact our students, both positively and unfortunately otherwise. I also want to ask for your assistance in being aware and involved in efforts to eradicate sexual violence, sexual assault, harassment, and stalking at CSUN. It's a serious problem across the nation. You've read about it, you've heard about it. And while some might suggest that sexual violence is relatively low on this campus, it is not zero, and we are not without our issues, and we cannot become complacent. We also know that it is very likely that a large number of cases go unreported. Our victims, male and female, need our help. They need safe havens, and they need to know all of the many resources and tools that are available to them. And while this is now required by federal law and increasingly our state laws, it's also about who we are and about our values. And none of us can achieve success if we don't have a safe and secure campus environment. So we're going to be launching training very soon. It's already started for our new students. The CSU Chancellor's Office will be discussing the training with our labor partners, similar to other mandated training. But I hope that we make available for all of our employees training and education even before those meet and confer conferences take place. And if you are willing to participate, to learn how to help each other and your students, what you can do, what you must do if someone reports it to you, or if you are, heaven forbid, either a victim or a bystander, I encourage you to participate voluntarily in this training and education. We also know unfortunately, again, that more and more of our students arrive on campus with a host of mental health issues. We've already experienced some of those, and the semester hasn't even started. The Chancellor's Office has recently initiated a new electronic resource called the Red Folder, and that's going to help faculty and staff identify, respond, and refer students in distress. It's designed to promote and strengthen the mental health service across all CSU campuses, and I encourage everyone to review this resource when you receive it. On the topic of compensation, because the CSU is still in bargaining with our employee unions, I can only say that employee raises were one of our top priorities and remain so. I am very sorry that the governor did not agree to fund an additional $90 million that we asked. But employee compensation is still our top priority. I hope that agreements are reached soon with all of our labor partners and that we can move forward again. With regard to increasing the visibility and reputation of the university, I am reassured that there is understanding and support for this effort. It's really important for us to be recognized for our excellence, for our contributions that we bring and that we make to the Los Angeles region, to the state of California. But it isn't just about recognition and reputation. Increased visibility also enhance our presence and our relationships in the community with local organizations and businesses, education partners, and at the regional and national level. It also makes our graduates more desirable to employers by enhancing the value of a CSUN degree in people's minds. And of course, it also helps attract philanthropic and corporate support. So this past year, we embarked on an integrated identity building process to develop a plan for enhancing the university's visibility and reputation in the greater LA region. I think we've already made great strides to get our story out. We initiated the widely embraced CSUN Shine campaign as sort of a bridge in between and a way to share news of our achievements and progress. University Advancement launched CSUN Shine weekly newsletter. It goes to 120,000 faculty, staff, alumni, and friends. Our social media, we're leading pretty much in every category in the CSU. Friends on Facebook, connections to LinkedIn, how many people are following us on Twitter and so forth. But I think this year you will see more of our external positioning campaign focused in our region. Some of you participated in focus groups. I want to thank you for that. We secured a $2.5 million commitment from the foundation board to devote that to our positioning and to our outreach and fundraising programs. We've developed metrics that will evaluate the impact of all of this. And finally, we are continuing to explore the feasibility of a multi-purpose event center. We're still early in the process. We're engaged in discussions with community, business, and political leaders regarding potential partnerships. Can we do it? This is a very major project that will require significant campus, community, and regional partnership and support. But first, we need to identify a viable and a realistic funding structure or finance model for both the construction and the operation of the facility before deciding to even move forward. Our priority about planning on a future less dependent on state funding, seems to become more relevant every year. As I mentioned, the governor did not approve our additional $90 million request to the CSU budget. And so while we got some for enrollment growth, we're basically left at 1980s level funding. We need to find new sources of revenue to maintain and build our excellence. Toward this goal, I think we've improved our budgeting process. We've improved the transparency of the process and how it's developed. And in the coming year, we're going to do our best to have the university planning and budgeting group work earlier in the semester on helping set budget priorities. I have to give a shout out to our University Corporation and the North Campus Development Corporation. Because of their great work, they will be able to contribute back to the university 30% more than they did the previous year, and we're grateful for that. We've increased in extended learning, self-support degree and certificate programs. We have implemented a partnership with a nationwide firm to increase our corporate sponsorships and revenues in athletics. We've already completed several, including a major one with Providence Health Systems. And philanthropy, of course, will play a major role. And will depend on several folks, key individuals in university advancement, and you know who you are, and myself. But in point of fact, often it is the voice and the face and the passion and the stories of our students and our faculty and staff who make a huge impact on our prospective donors. We've had a very successful year this year in philanthropy for CSUN. We've met or exceeded our goal, which is to raise at least 10% of our state-funded budget. We're now aiming to take that up to 15%. In the last 2 years, our fundraising has resulted in a 75% increase in money raised. Obviously, new gift commitments are hugely important. I cannot say enough, and by way of gratitude to David Nazarian for stepping up for our College of Business and Economics. Increased research activity and creative activity and sponsored programs remains a priority. And it's not just so that we can brag about numbers. Increasing our budget by more external funding projects helps to support students, it supports faculty, it deepens students' learning, it prepares them if they want to do graduate work. If they don't, it also provides hands-on learning for employers. I know that research and creative activity at the university are expanding and hopefully will continue to expand in order to reach our goal of doubling our funding in the next few years. We're very fortunate to have a partnership with LA Clean Tech Incubator. This will help with economic growth in the region, but it also, more importantly, helps students, faculty, and alumni turn their ideas into reality, to link their innovation with the region and with the ongoing teaching and research that take place at this university. We're also a leader in the CSU and the region with something we now call the CSU 5. Those are the 5 institutions in the LA County. I think they're on the map, so you can read who they are. But in fact, it's a very important new collaboration between our institutions that helps us leverage all of our assets, all of the strengths that each of us bring to the table. As a group, we have a much louder voice, and people are hearing that voice, and they're listening. And it's helping us in business and industry, it's helping us in our K through 12 partners, it's helping us in many ways. And it will also help our students. Sustainability. In June, I participated in a panel at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco that was to be taped by NPR for later broadcast, either on the radio or online. They make a decision, and I don't know what that decision was so far. But the focus was on what colleges and universities are doing in the world of sustainability. And in fact, my remarks included these 2 points that I would like to make with you. We are educating the future global citizens. And I would like the future global citizens to understand and appreciate what it means to be good caretakers of our Earth's resources. I would like for our university to model sustainable practices for our surrounding communities. We don't have to look far to figure out that climate change is not only here, but in fact, if we don't do something different, it's going to get worse. And for those who think that if we just had a little bit more rain, everything would be all right in California, I'm sorry to tell you this. That's not correct. We can expect more droughts. We can expect hotter temperatures. We can expect less water. So we need to think now, how are we going to deal with this in the future? How are we going to teach our students to be responsible and to be innovative about using resources and preserving scarce resources? And that's what we're about. And that's what I'm excited about. The Institute for Sustainability issued a report in June or July, but this past summer, and it's online. And I would encourage you to take a look at it and look at all the various activities and events and things that we're going to be working on and things that we have already made progress on. And there's all kinds of ways that we can improve. We've done some of that this summer by installing LED lighting outside. If you are here on campus at night and you walk down the Matador walkway, you'll notice it is pretty bright. And you might think, why the heck are we making this so bright right now? But it's actually LED lighting that uses far less energy. And we're going to be continuing to work on our water conservation. I'm very proud of our AS for doing all kinds of things. Tiffany actually was formerly the Sustainability Senator Chair of AS, so we're like minds on this one, and I'm really looking forward to working with you and the other student leaders. They brought zip cars to campus last spring, and they're going to have more zip cars this fall. And those zip cars, which basically you can rent a car for an hour, are available to employees as well as students. And I can tell you, the single biggest headache that we're all going to face in the coming year is transportation and parking. We have got to have fewer cars on campus. I would encourage you, to the extent that you can, to carpool and use public transportation. I'm going to be working with Vice President Donahue and Metro Transportation. We've got to figure out ways to persuade them to get some reasonably effective express bus lines to this campus so that students are not taking 2 hours to get to campus because they have to change at least once, sometimes 2 times to get here. That's ridiculous. And we can do better. If it's not convenient, unless you're forced to use public transportation, people won't use public transportation. So we have to help make it convenient. Pleased to announce this year we'll have our first called Matosphere Living Learning Community based on sustainable practices. Very exciting. Finally, athletics is a tool of engagement. We've had many athletic successes this year, some of those you saw, but the successes have been both on the field and in the classroom. We had 45 new varsity N student athletes. Those are academic honors. Initiated this past year. We hope to have more. I will tell you that through the efforts of Brandon Martin and all of his staff in athletics, they have increased attendance at all of our athletic events, or at least 4 of our sort of hallmark teams, which is great. They've increased ticket receipts, increased appearances on Big West TV, and in fact, they had 245,000 hits on GoMatadors.com. We won't compare the rest of the university with their hits, but good for you. I'm sure they were repeaters. No. No, it's great. And understand, please understand, there is nothing magical about athletics. It is another magnet, just like this magnificent center. And some people enjoy it, and we have over 400 of our students who are athletes who deserve to have a positive experience, and that means actually having people at their games. And we're doing a much better job, and thank you, Brandon, for all of your work. But when they raise and when they rise, we all rise. And it's in a good way. And we're doing it in ways that emphasize equally success on the field and in the classroom. Those things are not separated. Our goals for athletics this year, not only to continue raising money, continue increasing attendance, but to continue the academic success of our student athletes. We are going to be introducing sand volleyball for the first time this year. Lots of students are excited by that. In fact, the volleyball players obviously are, but also those courts will be available for all of our students. If they're involved in intramurals, they will also be available for academic programs. I would assume that would be kinesiology, if you were teaching volleyball or something. Otherwise, we're really excited by that. Overall, this has been a great year. We've had some challenges, but we've had just as many accolades. There will always be challenges, but why not set the bar higher? Why not set that bar higher for ourselves, for the institution, and for our students? Let us strive for even greater excellence. Let us leverage CSU data that we have to inform our decisions, to use predictive analytics throughout the university, to expand the use of learner analytics by faculty to guide student success. And one more point. We are not primarily a commuter campus. We are an urban campus. Nearly 50% of our students live on or within 10 miles of our campus. 30% within 5 miles. And what that means is that we have an opportunity, and we're seeing this growing every single day and semester. We're really a 24/7 campus. And when students host events, the sizes of the crowds are incredible. And that's what we want. We want students to be engaged with the campus, to be proud that they're here, to have the aspiration to graduate, to have encouragement and support to do those achievements. And we can help make that happen. We reflect the demography, the demographics of California and the United States to be in the future. And we can educate not only California's future leaders right here, but the country's future leaders right here. I would like for CSUN to be known for providing an outstanding education, evidenced by our graduation rates, by our career and graduate school placements, and other external validations. My vision of CSUN is a campus of inclusive excellence that produces leaders and innovators and the highest percentage of successful graduates in an environment of caring, civility, mutual respect, and celebrating each other's successes. Thank you all for your work as we welcome the start of the 14-15 academic year. I hope you have a great year. Happy New Year.
All right, I'd like to take the next 2 hours and fill you in on my goals. I love my job. I love this campus. I love the people that are sitting here. This is an amazing place. I thank you for coming today. I look forward to this upcoming year. It's going to be a tremendous year. I do encourage you as we wrap up today to, as you exit, please partake in the refreshments, connect with each other, eat, drink, and be merry for Monday. 40,000 students descend upon us. Have a great year. Thank you.
The heart is a bloom, shoots up through the stony ground, but there's no room, no space to rent in this town.